So when she flipped the switch and turned it like, I'm like, so I didn't speak to her for a couple of days because I was kind of pissed about it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you overstepped, girl. But then I'm like, I had to learn that it's okay to, whether it's foe, friend, family, whomever. I had to learn that it's okay not to speak to someone if they don't make you feel safe. And I learned that I I learned that in therapy. And that's what I love about therapy, Brandon, is that, you know, or even outlets like this, because it's an outlet to show our vulnerability, which today it's so crazy that we're talking about. I just mentioned that, but today, I don't like to show people that I'm vulnerable, and you know that about me. Um, and to be able to show my vulnerability, it's a lot. But I had to step outside the box, which is why we started this, um, and why we have the gray area, because mental health is a gray area, because there's
Yeah.
so many different um I don't want to say, there's so many different people struggling for different reasons, but all struggling, with the mental health situation. Like, we're struggling, and we may all be struggling for whatever reasons, but the same reason, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're all trapped in the same woods.
Right. It just, we may be chopped differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I love that we've created an outlet for people to feel safe to listen to us, and I want people to listen to us, and um talk about our talk about mental health, because it's so taboo.
Hmm.
It's like a no. It's like, you're not supposed to talk about mental health. Shh. But it's so freaking common right now.
Yeah.
There's so many people. There's so many people going through um some type of crises right now, because of mental health. And I don't know about you, but like, I find it more that, like, people are committing suicide, and like, I'm reading about it a lot more. And it's like, wow, in a world where it's open, right? Mental health is still not.
Yeah. It's crazy. Social media has kind of blown things up. I blame it. I don't want to blame it on anything, but I think a big contributing factor to a lot of the mental health these days is social media. Straight up. Um, People get bullied on social media. People commit suicide because of being bullied on social media. Before social media, we only knew what was going on in our immediate communities. That was it. Now we know what's going on across the whole world at any time of day, and it just creates this big stirring pot of craziness. I think even in the workplace, especially in the workplace.
I
So
think
yeah,
I think for some I think it's very common in the workplace right now, because um I don't know, I find, like, maybe, like, after COVID-19,
yeah,
um you know so much has happened since COVID-19, and now that the world is back to normal, right? um and COVID-19 is like a damn cold right now, right?
yeah,
So, but a lot of people are struggling because, like, the cost of living is has gotten, so yes, everyone went back to, like, everything went back to normal, but the economy didn't. and there's so many people struggling right now, and um there's so much going on that the stress from work, home life, listen, I had to stop working. I'm not working right now because of my mental health, and I had to take time off from work, and um but I feel like it hurt me more than it helped me. And this is my opinion, and this is solely based on me, so I don't want nobody coming for me, but I feel like I was offered an outlet, a resource, and now that I'm trying to go back into the workplace, you know I might be considered a liability.
Yeah, it's sad. It's a sad. That's what's really taboo. I think right there
then don't
is
then don't offer the out like then don't offer the resources.
right. They say we have this for you, we have this for you, but then when you go to reach out, it's things kind of seem different, tense, weird. Um, and like I said, you feel like you become a liability at that point, especially if you're really going through some stuff. Like I know you were going through some serious stuff. I know I was going through some serious stuff, to where people notice it and people look at you different. Um, and
Yeah,
then
like I literally broke down at work. Like
yeah,
I I was in a meeting with associates, and started to cry. Like, and this is right after my mom passed, and I still like went to work and did what I had to do, but it the grief. Oof, when you start going through those 5 stages of grief, I'll tell you.
I've always told people the worst feeling anybody could ever feel is a feeling of hopelessness. Once you
Yeah.
feel hopelessness, what's the point? And I
And
think that's what a lot
so
of people feel these days too.
yeah, and so like right now it's like, you know, and corporate America, or yeah, corporate America, you have to understand that when someone is struggling with mental health, it doesn't just affect the company, the fact that I'm not working, it affects people's home life. It affects you professionally, personally, romantically, you know, all types of ways, right? That it affects people. So, you know, listen, I'm a poster child right now for uh mental health in the workplace, uh in the home front, and I again, people pass away all the time, and that is absolutely true. And how one may feel about their mother or their father, uh and how they grieve for their mom or their dad, may not be the same way someone else is going to grieve for their mom and their dad. I'm sorry that, you know, certain people didn't have relationships that they did with their parent. I don't know. I don't know what people's home lives are. I know what mine was. And I know how it affected me. But the problem is that the way I started to handle my grief, like I put myself into my work. So I didn't give myself an opportunity. And if anyone knows my home life, my mom was the glue for my brothers and my dad, for my children, my brother's children, for myself. And so losing that glue really, people don't know my mom's home life, and that's for another episode, and I won't speak on my brothers because it's their story to tell, and or my dad, because that's their story to tell. But everything fell on me, and including the fact that, you know my mom had no medical insurance, and I'm sorry, she had medical insurance, she had life insurance, and so uh that all fell on me. And thank thank God that you know we do have social media, and people donated, and my cousin has set up a GoFundMe account, and I had people that helped us out. If not, I wouldn't have been able to give my mom, like, I wouldn't have been able to give my mom the proper send off that I would have liked to have given her. And you know it's no one else's, but that's what community and family's for, right? So to help each other out. But um
There's a little bit of a beauty in that too, though, because I know you didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth. You grew up with adversity and you had some struggles, and you guys, I'm pretty sure there was times with your mom where you had to do what you could to make ends meet, and you kind of had to do the same thing, you know, towards the end to send her off. I feel like
yeah,
there's kind of a beauty in that, because you came together, you and your family, whether they were part of your safe place or not, they were still there for you, or there for that occasion. And I think that's pretty telling, you know, for you
yeah,
as a person.
and that's the thing, like, you don't really want to bring all that in to work.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But when
Especially when you're a
when
manager,
when my mom so when my mom's health started, I noticed that my mom's health started deteriorating when COVID came around, because my mom had emphysema. Anyone knows emphysema? COPD is in your lungs, right? And so um COVID, what does it do? What was it doing? Attacking people that had issues with that, right? So um I don't know, it was but like when my mom had her heart attack last June. Well, she had multiple heart attacks, but you know uh I was able to, like, I was scared, right now. I'm not gonna fucking lie, I was scared, because I knew that my family was not ready. I mean, whoever is, but
right?
it was a lot. So it just all grew on me. And then my mom passed, and then I went, like I said, I went back to work, and even at home, like, I wasn't sleeping. I legit couldn't sleep. So what I would do is I'll just go back to work. So I was like running on fumes. And on top of that, I'm OCD, right? So, and if anyone knows about OCD, OCD is not just, I have to line everything up in the same way, or cleanliness, right? It's also OCD is your intrusive thoughts, like all the shit that's going on in your brain, right? And so it was, when I tell you, it was getting me. And so it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. And so, to the point where I wanted to take my own life, because it was so bad. I just wanted my brain to shut off. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
when someone is treating you like a liability now, you're just like, you have no idea on what someone is going through. And listen, I get business is business, and I will always understand that. Business is business. I'm the first one to say that. But when do you push that aside and become a little bit empathetic and and become relatable and human?